Last week in the Krispy Kreme National Series, we had our second drivers-only broadcast for Stuart Glenn, Andrew Miller, and Joe Witkowski. And what a battle in the Lone Star State it was between Monaco, Ward, and Roberto Clown Jr. And it was Clown Jr. getting his first win on the entire channel last week at Texas. And now we're at the final short track race of the season, Martinsville, Virginia, the second to last race, race number 23 of 24, and we still have a very tight three-way battle for this championship. And who knows, if things get wild, Lopez or Ward might have a shot at Atlanta. It is the Eckrich 250 at Martinsville Raceway. What's up, everyone? It's Boyan's Racing 97, aka Nathan Stapleton here, and welcome to Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia. And we are all the way up to this point. We are in September now, and it is the final two race weekends of the season. Crazy that it's gone to this point already. Feels like we just started the season back in February, but it is crunch time now. Two races to go: Martinsville and Atlanta, and we gotta see how this one plays out. Atlanta, it's gonna be probably similar to what we saw at Texas last week. It's gonna be similar faces up front in that one. But Martinsville, this is the last short track on the season, and who knows, we could see some surprises. We got Josh Winston up here in the booth for this one. Welcome to Martinsville underneath the lights for race 23 of the season.
And thank you for having me here. It's good to be here at Martinsville, and I know we're set for a fantastic race tonight. And the stakes are certainly high as we're getting to the end of the season, aren't they, Nathan?
Absolutely. If you want to talk about stakes, well, all of them are set very, very high. Not only for the championship, obviously, but the Owners Championship is very tight as well, with, I believe, Junior Motorsports and Alpha Prime, and RSS Racing as well. And we also got two more race wins up for grabs here in this season. And it's going to be interesting of what ends up happening, because especially up front you got Juan Garcia, Matthew Burnett, you got Kyle Craven in the 15, Roberto Clown Jr., Eli Bright, and but you got a lot of non-chasers starting inside the top 10, trying to get one more win, or the first win of the season here tonight. Among some of these chase drivers, like the top 3 points of Jericho, Rose, and Williams, what do these drivers need to do to survive Martinsville, and for the top 3 points maybe have a shot at being the new point leader going into Atlanta next week?
Well, this track is absolutely treacherous. I mean, these cars can be fairly stable going around the corners versus, say, the next-gen car, which really has a hard time turning through the corners. And the truck, as Larson put it, is a turd. However, you know, that kind of works well with short tracks too. The lower speeds mean you corner better. And these things have that benefit as well. You're going to see a lot of white knuckle racing here around the Martinsville half mile. These guys are going to be on it. We may see the bumpers come out. It could result in some hurt cars, some hurt feelings, and some hurt championship positions coming out of this. I know the championship drivers don't want that, so they're going to try to keep it as clean as possible and just try to come out of here clean.
Absolutely, but trying to come out of Martinsville clean is very difficult, and we will see that here tonight, here in this one. And we gotta see what ends up happening with all these drivers going for a win. And of course, Dream Motorsports, all 4 cars got a top 5 at Gateway, and all 4 of them still inside the top 10 here tonight. But it's Chris Jericho, who's really been strong in the late part of the season, especially in the chase. He is the new point leader, only 3 points ahead of Caleb Rose in second, with 15 top 10s. He's been one of the strongest drivers this season. But the third strongest driver, or the driver in points that has been the strongest, in my opinion, has been Logan Williams. Only 7 points behind. Those are the main 3 that we will be watching, and all 3 of them start inside of the top 6. Nick Lopez starts in 11th here tonight. He still has a shot if things get crazy minus 26. Duncan Ward, that great one at Texas last week, he still has a chance minus 30. Jordan Stout in 6th minus 35. Mendoza minus 41. Needs a good one to have a slim shot going into Atlanta next week. And then, unless things get really wild here in this one, millimeters minus 58. It's been a good season for that 45 team millimeters, but it's not going to be a championship most likely. Ben Watson minus 71. Avery Alford minus 74. A terrible chase for Alford and his teammate of Alexander Lowe. Juan Dewani minus 81 and Alexander minus 96. And I will quickly mention that we do have that battle for the best of the West. Right now, Monaco and Garcia are only separated by 1 point for 13th in the point standing. So that's going to be something that is going to be interesting. And as I mentioned, Chris Jericho starts 3rd. Caleb starts 4th. Logan Williams starts 6th. Ramirez starts 7th. Nick Lopez starts 11th. Duncan Wood starts 13th. Mendoza 14th. Dwani 15th. Stout 19th. And then a terrible chase continues for these three in particular. Of Watson starts 29th. Rowe 34th. And Alfred 36th. A terrible qualifying effort from Jordan Anderson Racing 34th and 36th. But a great qualifying effort from our most recent short track winner of Juan Garcia in the number 9 2 weeks ago at Gateway. And he's trying to get a second win in the last 3 races. And the last time is Matthew Burnett, who won at Richmond a couple of races ago at another short track. Chris Jericho in 3rd. Caleb in 4th. Kyle Craven, a great starting effort for that 15 team. And Logan Williams in 7th. His win is 8th is football punching last week's winner at Texas. And then right at the top 10 is Eli Bright and Aaron Abel. And we gotta see what ends up happening here tonight in the Eckrich 250. 63 laps on tap. Pit stops around 35 to 40. If we make it that far. Alright, well, Martinsville's the crazy short track. Who is still picked to win here tonight with only 2 races to go in the season?
Well, I'm expecting the start of this to be crazy, but as the race goes along, I'm expecting things to calm down, at least up front. And I'm expecting, too, that the championship drivers are not going to want to take a whole lot of risks here. That being said, however, I think it's going to be pretty easy for him to get around Garcia. So I'm going to go with Jericho right there in the 3rd position to get his 2nd win of the season and pad his points lead.
We'll see how it goes. 2 races to go, and we are green flag racing at the paperclip at Martinsville Speedway.
Check out that start by Burnett on the outside, but Garcia fights back down low.
Great jump from the 43. You can do that sometimes at Martinsville. Burnett, Richmond winner a couple of races ago. Garcia, the Gateway winner a couple of races ago. And he will lead lap number 1 here in the Eckrich 250. Burnett trying this outside lane. Jericho going to battle for 2nd. Rose in the 4th place spot. And this is key for Logan Williams. He needs to get to the bottom as soon as possible. But what a great start from Caleb Rose in the 38 as well. And I will say, if we get any cautions, we might have to watch out for some restart violations. But I don't think anyone got affected at the start of the race, so we are good. Jericho up to 2nd. Rose maybe up to the 3rd place spot. But he's going to take it easy for the time being. And there might be an opening for Logan Williams here, and looks like he should be good in that 44 machine.
Oh, he botched the entry, and here comes the 1 car of Eli Bright to his inside. We're 2 and almost 3 wide back there on the inside of the 00. That's Nick Lopez on the outside, and into the side of the 44 goes Bright. Eli Bright says, to heck with your championship. I'm going to scoot right through here into the 7th position. And Logan Williams still cannot mat the car down to the inside. What a terrible drive so far for Logan Williams. He's got to stop the bleeding real fast or this is going to get ugly. I know he's still within 7 of Jericho, but jeez, even 7 points can be a chore to hold on to at a track in Atlanta where they're going to cycle so much, especially at the start of the race. And this is not what Logan Williams needs. We'll see if maybe he stopped the bleeding right here.
Looks like he is finally going to get to the inside lane, but looks like it might be a tight call for Logan Williams here tonight at Martinsville, unfortunately. But it is a great start from Dream Motorsports. Has been very good at these short tracks. And like I said at the top, Juan Garcia won at Gateway. And then Matthew Burnett won at Richmond. But you know who was involved in that in both of those races, but couldn't quite have the luck on his side? It was Chris Jericho. He dominated Richmond, got short of the stick of a caution in that one, and still got a top 10, but could have won. And the Gateway, he didn't want to move his teammate out of the way. But now that Juan Garcia has a win, what will Jericho do for the race to lead? Rose in 4th. 5th is Kyle Craven. Shout out to Kyle Craven. It's been an up and down season, but he's had a couple of these bright moments throughout the season. And this is another one in that 15 machine. William Ayers in 6th, Eli Bright in 7th, Duncan Wood in the 8th position. Logan Williams has stalled in the 9th position, and then Nick Lopez rounds out the top 10. And look at all these chase drivers up here. Juan Dwyer in 11th, Mendoza in 12th, and shout out to the number 2 of Charlie Davenport, running inside the top 15 and 13th. This team, for RCR, the 2 and the 21, so much speed, so much bad luck, and finally running inside of the top 15. But back up to the front is getting spicy as these two are broken away. Now Jericho and Garcia side by side for the race lead.
These are Junior Motorsports teammates here. Their teammate Roberto Crown Jr. running back in the pack. Here's Jericho going to the race lead. Garcia does not get a good grip on the outside. Of course, there really is no outside here at Martinsville unless you have a secret NOS button or just big downforce wing or something like that. But Jericho gets by for the race lead and cautions out.
It will be Alexander Rowe blowing up, and that's gonna slow down.
Right there, 31 car,
and that's
Alexander Rowe,
and that's gonna cost Jericho a spot here, or is it?
Oh, that's gonna cost him 2 spots as Rose gets by.
And that's big for the championship. It's gonna cycle out to Rose being ahead of Jericho by 1 position. Oh, Williams turns the 5 around.
Yeah, he didn't hit anything, so that could have been a lot worse right there. But for Rose though, like, he may not be in as good of a situation. Say they finish 2nd and 3rd like that, Jericho still has the bonus for leading a lap. So, and Rose does not. So that softens the blow a little bit for Jericho. He probably still would come out of here. It'd probably still be 3 points if they finish 2nd and 3rd. That is if Caleb Rose does not lead a lap in this race. But he's going to be starting at a really good spot if Juan Garcia doesn't get off. And Juan Garcia, you saw at the start of the race against Matthew Burnett, he did not get off good on that start at all. So definitely something to watch here. But he gets off pit road good. Boy, he took a short stop.
Oh boy, he did. I think to 2 tires. We got some.
I think he did too.
Yeah, I think we got some 2 tire and 4 tire strategy. There's not a lot of tires, so that's gonna be very interesting. And the interesting thing is that there's about 40 laps on fuel. These guys pitted on lap 14 at 40. That's gonna be 54. So, in theory, if we don't get too many more cautions, they're going to be 10 laps short. And how about Logan Williams? He got a good stop. He's going to be ahead of Chris Jericho.
Boy, this is going to be an interesting restart right here. Burnett's going to be in a really good position to repeat what he did on the start of the race, and we'll see if he can do it. Caleb Rose, though, is hoping that Burnett does not. He's looking for all the bonus points he can get. And the 15, I know we shouted out Kyle Craven early. Kyle Craven is still looking for his first top 5 of the season. His first top 5 of the season comes in 26th in the championship standings. Way, way down out of the championship contention, obviously. But having a fantastic start to the night. Qualified well and is running well. So full marks to that 15 AM racing team. just tremendous what we're seeing so far from them.
Absolutely, and I've touched on the top 12, top 15. They're in a range of their own, but 16th through like 30th, maybe 32nd, are in another close bout in close range in themselves as well. And that 15th, if Craven, he's had some good ones, 2 top 10s, he might be getting his first top 5. Still a long way to go. Let's go and see what happened to Alex Animal blowing the motor to bring out the first caution of the night in the Eckrich 250. Well, here we go. This weapon to bring out the first caution of the night, and unfortunately, it's been a rough chase for Jordan Anderson Racing and Bryce Egan, and especially for Alexander. Blows up contact between the 98 and the 07, and Alexander does a great job getting out of the way for the most part. But then here comes Chris Jericho, Juan Garcia, and that's going to bring out the caution, and that's going to cost Jericho, who was in the lead, 1-2 spots on the way back to the line. And that could be very important going throughout the rest of the race, because now Jericho is going to be a spot on the racetrack behind Caleb Rose. And oh yeah, we also had the 5 get turned by the 45 right there, so no harm, no foul right there, and everyone ended up pitting. So let's go ahead and see what ends up happening on our first restart of the night here at Martinsville Speedway. Welcome back to Martinsville after the first caution of the night, and unfortunately the 31 of Alexander, he is done with a condition issue, and we'll see how this all shakes out. We got some 2-tire and 4-tire strategy, but no one, I believe, can make it on fuel. It's going to be close, but they are about 5 to 10 laps short. Juan Garcia, Matthew Burnett, Caleb Rose, Kyle Craven, and William Ayers will lead us back to the restart. And we are back green at Martinsville Speedway. A great jump from the top 5, top 6, maybe even top 7. And Burnett wants a second win.
Burnett.
And then we are back under caution already.
What in the world happened back there? Why, somebody didn't get going.
Someone, I don't think, got going.
There was a huge stack up behind. It didn't look like Logan Williams got going. There was a big gap between him and Eli Bright. So something happened there back coming out of 3 and 4. I thought I saw damage on the back of. There was an orange car back there. May have been the 48 of Benny Watson that I saw had damage on the back, or it might have been. No, it was the 18. The 18 of Bronson Minnick has damage. No, it wasn't either. He doesn't have back end damage. There was somebody else back there. It was the 48. Yep. So Benny Watson has damage as well. Something big happened back in turn 3 and 4. We'll have to wait and see the replay. But they did not have a chance to go. This is like that one Indy 500 restart earlier this year.
And now this is going to be really interesting. Some of the people in the back pitted, and now some more are going to pit. Right now, we are in the range of 43 to go. I believe it's about 40, maybe 41, 42 laps on fuel. So, in theory, if we get a caution, they could maybe save. So this is going to be interesting. I was not expecting to see it tonight, but a wacky night here at Martinsville, and we might see some fuel mileage shenanigans on a short track at Martinsville, Virginia.
It is unless we get another caution. Ideally, if we get another caution, they should be able to cruise to the end here. It'd be close, but we'll see, of course, as this race goes along. Meanwhile, Caleb Rose, for the meantime, is going to inherit the lead, and this is going to shake the running order up big time.
Absolutely, and I see some skimmers into turn 3, so I think there must have been a stack up like you were saying. And Caleb Rose, he's going to get a bonus point, so it's going to get what Jericho got earlier, and it's going to be very tight for the points scenario. And I will say, I don't like this strategy call for
no, because these guys are going to have to pit later. Sorry to interrupt. These guys are going to have to pit later. So, like, I guess they're betting on, like, another caution coming out, but yeah, I don't like this call from Logan
Williams. He's going to be in last place now.
But of course, he's already pit, so we'll see if maybe he can stretch it out with Jericho and Burnett, Garcia, and all those other guys back there. I think they're on the superior strategy. I don't know if like if one guy pit, then you may as well all come down because that was only a fuel stop.
We'll see if it all plays out, but let's go ahead and see what on earth happened for the stack up in 3 and 4 for the second caution of the night. Here we go, this happened for the second caution of the night, and we're going to slow-mo this one first. It is simple, but we're going to see it's going to go green right now. Benny Watson's going to jump down to the inside. He's going to get a restart violation anyway. But then the 51 of Carson Miller says, no, we're not going to pass me to the inside. Turns to the left side, slams him to the 48, and then nowhere to go for Al Anderson Jr., who already ran into the back of the 98 on the previous caution. Got more damage, so I don't like that call from Carson Miller, because if he didn't do that and let the 48 by, the 48 was going to get a restart violation penalty anyway. But unfortunately, because of that, that's going to be a rapid fire caution here in the Eckrich 250 at Martinsville Speedway.
All right, so again, here we are coming to the restart. Everybody's getting lined up here, ready to go. And then the green comes out, and Benny Watson says, oh, I got to run, so I'm going to drop that. Carson Miller says, AK-47, bro, homie, stop that. And turns right down into him. They crash on the back straightaway, but just before turn 3, somehow the cars behind him got by with minimal damage. But that's going to be the night all but ruined for Benny Watson and the 51 of Carson Miller. A really, frankly, unnecessary incident heading into turn 3 on a restart of all things. Like, they didn't even get the green flag before that happened. And there's the pace car going to pick up Juan Garcia.
Yeah, that was very
bizarre
unfortunate.
Incident.
Very bizarre. I don't think I've seen that happen before, and then we got some strategy going on. Gonna be a very strategy-filled race here throughout the rest of this one, I think, just with how the cautions are flying. Hopefully this is the last one. Let's go ahead and get back to the restart with Juan Garcia as the race leader. Welcome back to Martinsville, and I don't know if it's a full moon or if this is just what is happening at the end of the season, but we got some wacky stuff going on here in the Eckrich 250. We got all kinds of strategy. Don't know if these guys can make it on fuel. It's about 40 laps on fuel, and we are coming to 40 laps to go, so they might be a couple of laps short, but that's if we don't get another caution. Caribou, some William Ayers, and Duncan Wood, and Chris Jericho, Ryan Durrani round out the top 5. We are back green. Let's try this again here at Martinsville.
I have to correct myself. I thought Jericho pit during that caution, but he did not. He is up here in the 4th position and did not get off of turn 2 well at all there. As the 19 of Ryan Durrani is going to try to go for a run on him. Of course, Durrani comes in 81 points back, still technically in the... Oh, caution's out again. 3rd time in the first 25 laps, and looks like it was the 51.
Of Carson Miller.
It's Carson Miller, I believe.
And now I like this call. Now, with under 40 laps to go, everyone can pit, and they should be good. That's what they were banking on.
Now they should be good. Now you gotta wonder if anybody else is going to come in. I doubt it, because they're probably thinking cruise. But if they pit, well, then that move under the last caution is gonna look even more stupid. Oh, poor Kyle Craven. And that's exactly what the 20 gets, honestly. That is exactly what Kenneth Miller gets.
The merge point is wacky.
The guys back there pit.
Oh yeah, they did the
Did they
previous
actually?
lap. Yeah, the previous lap.
Why? Why would they pit under both these cautions? Like, what was the strategy there? Boy, I gotta tip my hat to everyone else who stayed out, because these guys that are in the back, Garcia and Burnett, all these guys, they look like fools now.
Oh my goodness.
I cannot believe the call.
I don't know what is
They
going
got
on.
bamboozled. Jeez.
Let's see, are they gonna be on the lead lap here? The
Yeah, they
44.
should be.
Yeah, Logan
They
Williams
should be
is
on the
back
lead
up to
lap.
14th. Yeah.
Yeah, they're on the lead lap, but like they're gonna be way back in the field, hopelessly out of contention for the race lead. They basically need everybody in front of them to wreck. They need something like what happened to Alexander Rowe to just take out everybody at the front of the field. I'm sorry, but I'm flabbergasted. I cannot believe they did that.
Oh my goodness. Well, third caution
I
of
guess
the
that
night.
they think they're in Wawa Cup.
And looks like the 19's reporting a vibration. And let's see what ends up happening for this third caution of the night. Luckily, these guys should be good on fuel from here on out. And hopefully we can get a 33 lap one to the finish here in the Eckrich 250. Let's go ahead and see what happened for the third caution of the night. Gonna follow this one time. Multiple drivers get tight, a very tight race strategy tonight. Angel Gutierrez into that side wall, sets up everybody. And 3 right in front of them, and I don't know why, but Carson Miller in the 51 is gonna go into 1 and 2 and gets tight and just spins himself out in front of the back part of the field. And that's gonna bring out a third caution of the night, rapid fire style. And we've seen up to this point is a very tight race strategy here tonight. And that's what happened with Carson Miller right there. Carol's was the race leader. We got all kinds of different strategy on our hands. But luckily everyone should be able to make it on fuel from here. So let's go ahead and see what will happen after the third caution of the night. Welcome back to Martinsville, a chaotic night, but we are almost halfway through the Eckrich 250. And everyone is good on fuel at this point, so we can just race out and hopefully we are done with these rapid fire cautions. Ryan Dewani is the race leader, William is, Caleb Rose, Felicity Mendoza, and Charlie Davenport is inside the top 5. And here we go, let's try this again. Another restart here at Martinsville, and a great restart from William is and Ryan Dewani.
And we'll see if we'll see how much they can maintain that. Felicity Mendoza gets hosed by Davenport, and I think even clipped the wall coming out of turn number 2, and now is going to get overtaken by Duncan Ward. Terrible restart there by Felicity Ward, or Felicity Mendoza rather, who comes in 7th in the championship, only 41 points behind Chris Jericho. I say only 41, that's actually a fairly significant gap, considering the fact that after this we'll only have 1 race left. And the biggest swing, correct me if I'm wrong, the most points you can score is 48. Is that right?
I believe it's 38 or 40, something along those lines.
38 or 40.
Yeah.
So that's a significant gap. Like, that's on the line of not being able to battle for a championship. So Mendoza cannot do that for very much the rest of the race. That was not pretty.
And you know what? Call me crazy, but Charlie Davenport might have the call here tonight. And all the craziness is worked out in his favor as Dewani goes wide off turn 4, side by side. He's been pretty good at these short tracks this year as well. One at Fullspool, I believe, and one at another racetrack. I don't remember where, but Ramirez has been pretty solid this year. And now he's going side by side for the race lead. Ayers has a slim chance at the title, doesn't really have one, but he's going to take the race lead 58 points behind. Ronnie Dewani in 2nd, Davenport in 3rd, Rose in 4th. That's important for him for this championship. But number 5 with Duncan Woods, he still has a chance. He's only 30 points behind. Mendoza, Crown Jr., Chris Jericho in 8th. So right now Rose is ahead by, I want to say, 1 point over Jericho. But he's going to go side by side with Duncan Ward in the number 5 machine. And then meanwhile, Logan Williams is on pit road. He just had a fuel leak issue, and that's going to get rid of him for this championship of one of the best drivers all year.
No, you've got to be kidding me. That's how his season's going to end?
Oh.
You got to be kidding me.
I cannot make this stuff up. Oh my goodness. One of the best drivers all season long. And he is not going to have a
He has the
shot at this
second best
championship.
average finish of any driver in the field right now to Chris Jericho. That is unbelievable how bad the 44 team unloaded for this race. And to have that happen, that is, frankly, that's inexcusable.
Not only did they unload with a rough car, not a good car at all, not a good strategy, they were back inside the top 15 and then ended up having a fuel leak issue, and that's going to be night over and championship over for him. He's not going to be able to do something I was teasing all chase long and have a chance to win both Cup and National in the same season. But at least he's still going to have a chance at the Cup championship. But we still got a race on our hands. William Ayers trying to get his third win of the season. Tie William Ayers with the most this year. Duane trying to get his first, and you know what? This number 2 car looks fast, and so does Duncan Wood in the number 5. If Duncan Wood wins, that will also be win number 3 on the season.
And Duncan Ward's 5th in the championship, and as a chase driver, he comes in 30 behind. So he's still very much in championship contention, and if he wins, able to pick up perhaps a bunch of points on his championship rivals, because the winner gets a couple bonus points.
And right now, Duncan Wood is ahead of Chris Jericho, Caleb Bowles, Logan Williams, and Nick Lopez. So he'll gain massively on those 4 heading into Atlanta. He cannot count Duncan Wood yet for this championship, but we cannot count out anyone on this race win, because this race has been absolutely insane crazy, and we still have 21 laps to go, and we are still going to have lap traffic here in this one as they are getting all over the place. Juan Garcia,
in the wall,
who was leaning at one point into the outside wall, and we've been seeing it all night long. Lap traffic is going to be chaotic, and we will see that in the Cup race tomorrow night. And with 20 laps to go, top 4 are under a blanket, and they have lap traffic, and now another spot for Duncan Wood here as the side-by-side Davenport, a great one from Davenport, regardless, but he's going to let a championship contender go on by.
Playing safe right now with Duncan Ward. Duncan is a fierce competitor. We know that. He's a little wild too. He's got an average finish of 14.7, and hard into the wall goes Ryan Durrani.
Ouch. And I don't know, I could be wrong, but there was some drivers that took 2 tires and 4 tires on that very first stop of the night. And depending on if they changed
the wear
tires,
come into effect, perhaps.
Yeah, there's not a ton, but there's
typically
some.
If you take 2, you're only taking right side tires, because that's what gets the most wear on it. But man, when those left sides go away, that can be killer, because there goes your grip.
Absolutely not a ton of wear, but there's enough where if you are on the same same left or right tires for the majority of the race, that's going to bite you here late in this one. And Durrani goes wide, has gotten the third air maybe of Kenneth Miller, of his teammate, and now Duncan Wood, he almost won at Texas last week, and he might be, in a crazy way here tonight, have a shot to get win number 3 here with just 2 races to go. He's going to dive bomb Kenneth Miller in turn 1 and 2.
Oh, jeez.
Duncan Wood, you weren't kidding about Duncan Wood being aggressive. Oh my goodness, what a dive bomb.
The bump and run from Duncan Ward. I said he's a fiery, fierce competitor, and there he goes right around the 20, who was a lap down, to be fair, but taking no prisoners here.
I think the 45 hit the wall off turn 4. He slowed down a lot.
Of William Ayers. Looks like he's got some damage there. Yeah, that right side's all bent up. Under 3/4 second now. A terrible exit, though, for Duncan Ward.
And look at who's inside the top 5 out of nowhere. Last week's winner was Bull Crown Jr.
That? Haven't talked about them all night.
he went from not winning on my channel for multiple years, winning at Texas, and now he has a chance to maybe go 2 in a row in the National Series.
We'll see if they can get it done and go into the backside of Charlie Davenport, getting ready to battle it out with the driver of the number 2. Meanwhile, up front, the gap for the lead is still shrinking. 45 of William Ayers, he's got to be sweating now. He's in between a rock and a hard place. He's got the rocks in front of him blocking the path. It's the lap traffic. And the hard place is Duncan Ward. Again, he's a fiery competitor. He's also a little hard-headed. We saw that with the 20 of Kenneth Miller. No qualms at all for bumping him out of the way.
Oh boy.
And here comes Ward to the inside. Terrible corner there for William Ayers.
He's gonna dive bomb the 92 of Hallian's machine with some front end damage amongst all the chaos here tonight. And we have now less than 10 laps to go, and I don't know who's gonna get this race win. It could be Ayers, it could be Wood, could be Dwayne, could be Davenport or Grant Jr. if all hell breaks loose here in this one. And Ayers gets a little bit tight, a tight racetrack all night long, side by side maybe, for the race. So he has, oh my goodness, the 7 and the 2 inside outside wall, and Dwayne has to pit.
Oh!
Dwayne has to pit in the 19. What?
And we gotta watch for everybody else to see if they have to. If he's not good to the end, we gotta watch.
They should be good on fuel. I don't know if they put in enough fuel for that 19 machine, but that's a tough place for Dwayne. And looks like no one. And looks like no one else is pitting, so maybe they didn't put enough fuel in on that 19 machine. Oh my goodness!
Real.
Wow. Well, that's gonna help Chris Jericho. That's gonna be another spot for him in the 8 machine, and he's gonna be a 2 spots ahead of Caleb Rose. Shout out to Jordan Stout on the move in the number 11. But I'm just stunned. This has been a race that feels like it's 125, like the Cup race tomorrow night. As meanwhile, we missed the pass for the race lead. Duncan Ward is now out front in the number 5. Ramirez in the 2nd place spot. It's getting down to it. Just a handful of laps to go here at Martinsville.
Of course, though, sadly for Ryan Durrani, who comes in 11th, that's going to cap off what has been fairly, frankly, forgettable chase for him. 81 points back of Jericho, and that will put the final nail in the coffin on his championship hopes. He'll join Alexander Rowe on the beach in Cancun.
Not been a good season in the chase, but for being the only Joe Gibbs driver to make the chase, not too bad, though, all things considered. But Duncan Ward, 3 laps to go, trying to hang on for his 3rd win on the season. Got 2nd last week at Texas, trying to hang on and get 1 spot better. But he has some lap traffic right ahead. The 0751 blocking him. It's not going to be a win for Davenport, but I believe it will be a top 5 for that 2 machine finally. As Kyle Craven's on pit road. A couple of other cars were not able to make it. But it's going to be the white flag this time by Duncan was going to try and move the lap car out of the way. The Pally 1 to go in a chaotic Martinsville race. Duncan Wood takes the white flag. Customer slowing him down a little bit. That's going to allow Ayers to close in ever so slightly. But in a race where I felt like we've done double of 63. But what a race this was, and Duncan was going to win as Customer slams the outside wall. I cannot believe what we saw here today. What a wacky, goofy, odd race here at Martinsville. But at least it was a realistic winner. Duncan Wood, win number 3, and he is still going to have a chance at the championship next week.
Jericho finishes 4th, so that dampens the amount that eases the amount of points that Duncan Ward would have gained. He's still going to have to hope for a lot of things to go right for him at Atlanta. Jericho, absolutely the championship favorite next week, but what a race here at Martinsville. As you said, just chaos. Just a wild race here at the Paperclip. They used to call Richmond the action track. Well, we may have to temporarily give the name the action track to Martinsville here after this one, because there was a lot that happened in that one. We'll have to we'll spend some time in the aftermath of this dissecting it. Of course, we do the caution replays in post, but my goodness, what a race here, and what a championship battle that we are going to have on our hands next week. This is going to be wild.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, Logan Williams is not going to be a part of it. He still has the JBL Cup Series title that he's going after. But it's going to come down to not much between Caleb Bowles and Chris Jericho for this championship. Duncan Wood's going to have a slim chance as well. But Nick Lopez didn't really have a good night here tonight. Finished in the 31st position. Logan Williams in 35th. So that's going to cut down the people with a chance a little bit. I will say Jordan Stout got 6th. He was slightly 5 points out. So even though he finished behind or around, he's going to be about 30-something points out. And if everyone else gets involved in something, Jordan Stout could become a 2-time champion. But just what a race here at Martinsville. And like I said, felt like it was 125, not 63. That's the cup race too tomorrow night. But Duncan Wood win number 3 on the scene. William Ayers gets 2nd. Clown Jr. back-to-back podiums on the scene. Jericho in 4th. And shout out to Charlie Davenport in the number 2 machine. It's been a rough season, but he's going to get not only his 2nd top 10, but that's going to be his 2nd top 5 that is going to equal as a top 10. So 2 top 5s for Charlie Davenport this season. And he was up front all night long. Even though there was chaos everywhere, he was up front all race long. Stout, Rose, Abel, Monaco, and Martin's top 10. Perry, Torres, Alfred, who started 36th, got 13th. Burnett, Beal in 15th. Ream, Davison, Gutierrez, Thompson, Garcia, the top 20. And then Minnick, Amari Jr., and Ryan Kendall round out the top 23. And then there's the rest of the finishing results. Even though we had chaos, there's only 2 cars standing out of this race, and they were 2 chase drivers of Logan Williams and Alexander Rowe. But the heartbreak is going to be Logan Williams. He was the regular season point leader for the entire regular season, basically. And he was the point leader in the chase for most of it, but that's going to take him out. He's not going to be able to win Cup and National in the same year, but he's going to have a shot at the Cup Championship, though, depending on what happens tomorrow night in the Smithfield 500. But what a wacky race. I was not expecting that whatsoever. And what's the final thoughts, if you can have any, after that crazy race here for the Eckrich 250?
Honestly, I think you hit the nail on the head. It was absolutely wild. It was action-packed from start to finish. We saw comers and goers and head-scratching moments for sure that created those comers and goers. Like, I honestly thought that Juan Garcia, Matthew Burnett, and Jericho, the guys that started up front, were going to stay up front. To Jericho's credit, he finished 4th, and Rose, who started up to the front, still finished 7th. But aside from that, man, Juan Garcia finishes 20th. Matthew Burnett finishes 14th. He rebounded well, but man, just goes to show how important strategy is in the ratings system here. But again, what a race here at Martinsville. And I can't wait to see these points after this, Nathan, because this is going to be close.
Absolutely, especially between Jericho and Rose. That's going to be close. Duncan's going to have a chance, and then I think if things get really wild at Atlanta, Jordan Stout's going to have a chance as well. But I think it's going to come down to Jericho and Rose. And I know it's not going to be the championship for Logan Williams, but we basically have 3 drivers that were the best. 2 that were really good all year long, of Rose and Williams. And then Jericho, who's been really strong in the second half of the season. We still got Rose and we still got Jericho. 2 of the 3 best drivers this season, all year long, gonna contend for the National Series Championship next week at Atlanta. Thanks for Josh for joining me up here for a wacky wacky race here at Martinsville, and hopefully the Cup race is a little bit better than that, but still, nevertheless, what he likes of what he saw with number 3 on the scene for him, and maybe he can do the Martinsville sweep here tomorrow night in the Smithfield 500. Until then, we will see you guys next week for the season finale for the Season 3 Krispy Kreme National Series at Atlanta Speedway.